Let's start off sitting. So welcome to your yoga practice for this evening. Sort out your sit bones, make space. Nice good connection with the ground or the mat or whatever it is you're sitting on. Swap your cross around. If you're in Sukhasana, then swap your feet the other way around to how you normally have them. It's really good for your body to do things a little differently from the natural way that you would normally go. So it's like if you clasp your hands here, clasp your fingers together, and notice on which hand you have your thumb uppermost. So I've got my right thumb uppermost. So take your hands down to the ground, push them together. There's wrists, there's forearms. Lift them all the way up. Let's wake up the shoulders a little. And bring them down again, slowly. And then take your hands apart. Take them out to the sides. Oh, as if you're trying to join the backs of your hands together behind you. Obviously, you cannot do that. Well, I hope you can't do that. I mean, dislocating both shoulders. So lifting your heart center forward, lift your chest, lift your chin, touching those shoulder blades together. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then bring your hands back to center. Clasp them again. Okay, this time, put the opposite thumb on top. Now, how weird does that feel? Does it feel strange? Yeah. And then again, just take your hands down. This time, round your shoulders. Bring your hands down to the mat. Send your lower back out behind you. So you're curling. And then take a deep breath in. All the way up. And exhale. Take your hands out to the sides, all the way down. Just a little wake up of the shoulders and noticing how strange it feels when you've gone into your natural position and then you've made yourself do the opposite one. So same with the legs. We're sitting up nice and tall. We this week are looking at Vata energy being not quite as we want it to be, too much, because it is autumn and Vata energy is dry, rough, sharp, hurried, frenzied, kind of blustery energy. So lots of, imagine leaves rolling down a road, being moved this way and that. So it can affect us in many ways. Our skin, our hair, nails might all feel a little drier than usual. Digestion could feel a little bit drier and more sluggish. And your thoughts, you can feel a bit scattered and a bit sort of fuzzy-headed, really. So we're trying to ground ourselves at this time of year. Lots of grounding foods, lots of grounding herbs and spices, and a grounding practice. So we have a grounding practice today. We're sitting up nice and tall. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders. Now here's the time where we separate the rest of the day from our practice and bringing the awareness in, detaching from things that have been occupying us during the day, setting things aside. And everybody likes to do it differently. You might want to visually put, in your mind's eye, imagine yourself putting everything into a suitcase and leaving it outside the door and shutting the door firmly, knowing that everything is safely there for when you need to go and pick up whatever it was you were doing again. And there's a lot of trust there as well, being able to just say, I will get to everything that I need to get to when I finish doing what I'm doing. So trust yourself. You won't forget things. You won't leave things undone. But this is your time. This is your time that will carry on working for you over the next hours and days. So bring yourself right here, right now. Sitting up tall, watching your breath, slowing the breath down. So inhaling through your nostrils, exhaling through your mouth. And slowing the breath down. Noticing if you've got any aches or pains or areas of tightness or stress or tension. Just acknowledging and being okay with that. So we're going to take our hands to the floor in front of us. So take your palms flat to the floor, straighten your arms. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, just walking or sliding your hands forward. Allowing your head to drop gently forward, lengthening out through the back of your neck. Still keeping that breath going. Now's a good time to think of your intention for your practice, your sankalpa for today. Really stretching out under the arms. Can you inch those fingers forward a little bit more? If you can't find an inch there, maybe just a few millimeters. Really stretching out under the arms and then sliding the hands back. Rounding through the back to come up to being upright again and open your eyes. Let's come into a very gentle cat and cow combination. So coming onto your hands and knees into tabletop position. Set yourself up with your wrists under your shoulders. Take your time. Find your alignment here. Knees under your hips. Feet straight out behind you. Head, neck, spine in line. And before we come into our cat-cow, we're just going to slide forward. So starting to straighten the legs almost. You'll feel that in your wrists. Go as far as is comfortable for you. We're bending forwards with those hands. So we are then sliding the hips back, keeping the back straight. So we're not bringing the bum down towards the heels. We're just taking it back, keeping the sit bones up. And then sliding forward. So it's like a really badly made footstool with wobbly legs. And then coming back again. So we're just going backwards and forwards, a little bit of work on the knees, a little bit of work on the wrists and the shoulders and the torso. Keep your tummy tucked in towards your spine. Keep that breath steady and even while you do this. Bringing yourself closer to the ground. Next time you come down, bringing your heels to your hips. And last time, sending your head forward and then coming back nice and neutral. Let's come into cat and cow. If you want to go at your own pace, go ahead and go at your own pace. Remember that as we tuck the belly down towards the mat and coming into our cow posture, we're breathing in. So you're taking a nice deep breath in through the nostrils. As the back of your head comes to try and meet your sit bones, your coccyx. And then as we curl back round, you're breathing out. And breathe out through your mouth. Be noisy. Really expel that breath. And go at your own pace. And let's do 5 rounds. Let's really warm up that spine. Let's get everything going. It's a major channel for all sorts of reasons. It's what literally holds us together. Really important. Let's get those vertebrae moving, gently massaging all the discs. Try and notice every single part of your back when you get to the final point. So you're right in cow. Just notice what's happening in your spine. Have you got a little more movement somewhere? in your spine. And then when you're moving back, come into cat, the same thing. Noticing your lower back, your mid back, your neck, tucking your chin right in. And I've completely lost count because I've been talking too much as usual, but I think we're probably on about 4. So make this your last round. I really enjoy it. Stretch out. Think about all that space you're making. All that movement in the body. And then gently coming back to neutral. Bringing your big toes together. Taking your knees a little bit further apart. Send your heels back. Don't send your heels anywhere. Keep your heels where they are. Send your hips back to meet your heels. And then slide your hands forward. Let's get that nice opening up under the arms again. And in Balasana like this, you can get your chest down to the floor and you can open up under the arms a little bit more. Take your forehead to the mat, tucking your chin in. Just rest the neck, rest the back. And it's just resting the spine here. Don't forget to breathe. Lovely, deep, slow breaths. Completely oxygenating the body. Especially when we're busy, we forget to breathe. It sounds ridiculous, but we just are exchanging such a small amount of air in and out. And our lungs have such massive capacity. So try and utilize them as much as you can. Keep them mobile, keep them active, keep them stretched out, and use all of them. You know, what we don't use tends to give up and stop working. So we really don't want to have that happen for the lungs, especially in this day and age. And then gently bringing yourself back up. Come up, still keep those legs wide. And let's come into a little bit of a twist. So take the left hand, keep that nicely planted. Take the right hand off. And we're going to thread the needle in this position. Quite an interesting position to be doing it. So we're going to slide the right arm out all the way. So stretching that right hand as far away as you can. Bring your head onto its side. And then we can lift the left arm off. Take your left arm up towards the ceiling. So a little bit of twist right in the upper back where it's quite hard to get the twist. Well done. And the nice thing about doing it this way is if you have had a meal recently, got room in your belly for it to sit there nicely between your thighs. Really open that shoulder up, lift, and then bring your left hand back down to the mat, push in to lift up. And exactly the same on the other side. So we're going to put the right hand down now. Take a deep breath, thread the needle, sending that left hand, left arm all the way down in between your legs and your right arm. And when you've got as much of your left arm on the mat as possible, all the way from your fingertips to your shoulder, then we take the right arm off and up, reaching up. You might feel this in your ribs. You might feel this in your upper back. Listen to your body. Do what works for you. If you've got any old injuries that this happens to, start twinging, just back off and be gentle. It's not a race, not a competition. And the prize is in the journey. And let's bring that arm back down, flat to the floor again. Coming back. Now come into our lovely tabletop position again. Such a great starting position. Take your big toes away from each other so that your feet are directly behind your knees. So right foot, right knee, left foot, left knee. And we're going to come into bird dog. Now, why are we doing this? It's very grounding because we have to concentrate, we have to balance, we're clinging onto the floor. So we're going to keep the left hand and the right knee on the floor. And we're going to be lifting off the right hand and the left leg. But I want you to try and not move your torso. See how little you can move it. Are you ready? So let's move. Start pushing your weight into that left hand, right knee. And then we're sending the right arm up and the left leg up. Watch what's happening in your back. Don't curl your belly down towards the mat. Keep your back lovely and straight. Can you lift that back leg a little higher, squeezing your glutes, but not tilting your hips? It's all very difficult, really, isn't it? Well done. Don't forget to breathe as well. All that and having to remember to breathe. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. You can do this. Well done. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's brilliant. Coming back. Take a breath. You might notice that your heart is beating a little faster here. And let's put our weight now into the right hand, left knee, and taking the left hand off, right leg off. Stretch. Stretch your foot and your hand as far away from each other as you can. That will really help to stop tilting that left hip bone up towards the ceiling. We want to have them in line with each other. Don't forget to engage your belly. Well done. And at the same time, we don't want to drop the weight right down into that wrist. We want to be lifting off. Engage your upper arm. That bicep needs to be working, and that will help fire up the torso. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Come back. Let's come into Balasana. So send yourself back. This time we need to rest the shoulders and the arms. So try and get as much contact between your belly and your thighs as possible, and release your arms down to the side. Send yourself back so that your sit bones come to rest on your heels if you can. Now here's your opportunity to think about your breath. Are you breathing in and out for the same count? Or is one longer than the other? Just have a look and see, observe. Remember that if you want to get energized and all fired up, then your in-breath is long and your out-breath is short and sharp. And the opposite if you want to try and calm down your systems. In yoga, we generally try and use a calming breath because the rest of life tends to be a little bit fast and furious. So this is our opportunity to slow things down, to remind the body what it's like to be in a state of rest and digest. And then gently bringing yourself up to kneeling. So far we haven't done any of the asanas that I had on my list for us for today. But anyway, here we go. They're all grounding. They're all good. There's too many to choose from. That's the problem. Tuck your toes under. We're going to come into downward facing dog. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. So sending your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Lengthening out through the backs of your legs. And that should hopefully feel really good. A really lovely stretch all the way down. Think about your Achilles. Think about the backs of your calves, your knees, your thighs, your sit bones pointing up towards the ceiling, your shoulders broad, neck and head just hanging, just completely at rest, enjoying The blood flow, increased blood flow to the head, neck, and face. This is what we want more of. We want all those lovely skin cells to be refreshed and nourished and rejuvenated. And we really want lots of extra nourishment for the brain. So here we are in our gentle downward facing dog inversion. At the same time, we're working the arms, working the shoulders, pulling the belly in towards the spine, hopefully, lengthening through the sides of the body. Can you make yourself longer in the torso? Can you move your shoulders more? Move your arms, pull yourself up out of your shoulders. And now I realize that we've been here for quite some time. So let us move. Bring yourself forward. We're coming into upward facing dog. From down to the up. There we go. So keep those toes tucked under. Bring your weight onto the palms of your hands, but also into your fingertips and the thighs. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, but my thighs are not touching the mat. The only parts of the body touching the mat are our hands and our toes. It's a nice opportunity to open up the chest. And it's a beautiful way of stretching out the front of the body. And then now allow yourself to bring yourself down to the mat. So release those feet. There we go. And bringing yourself all the way down. Come into Makara. So come into crocodile. Stack those arms one on top of the other. I'm getting a bit boiling here. Rest your forehead on that arm pillow you've made. And rest. Time to take a couple of nice, deep, slow breaths. Well done. Seven in Makara. And it's time to wake up the back of the body. So, Shalabhas. Locust, arms out. Look at that. We're just touching the floor with the whole of the front of our bodies. Really grounding, thinking about the energy coming up from the earth, thinking about the energy that we give back. Take a deep breath, set yourself up here. So one way to set yourself up is to put a little weight into your elbows, lift your chest up, lengthen the belly, and then put it back down again. And then we're going to lift the arms and lift the legs. 2 in 1 here. So squeeze the shoulders, squeeze all the muscles in your back. So we don't necessarily use a lot of these muscles in this way. So it's a good little toning, good little wake up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Okay, come on, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to Makara, opposite arm on top, and rest. How is your heart doing? Can you hear it beating? Time to calm it down. And we do that with the breath. So taking a long, slow exhalation. And when you breathe in, take that breath right into the back of your head, right down into your belly. Well done. Tuck your toes under, put your arms either side of your chest, and let's come up and back, bringing yourself into Ardha Mukha Svanasana again, downward facing dog. We're not going to stay here for long, don't worry. And walking the hands towards the feet. So we're going to come into a nice easy forward bend, which is what we're in right now. And I invite you to keep your back relatively straight. Bring your hands or your arms or both, hopefully they're connected to each other, behind your legs and gently pressing to bring your torso closer to your thighs and bringing your head closer to your knees. With every exhalation, moving a little closer. And we're going to gently unfold. Yes, so release your arms. Let them dangle, let your head just hang. Slowly, slowly, really take it slowly. Bringing yourself all the way up. All the way up to standing. And we're coming into Balasana here. So taking all of your weight into your left leg, left foot, noticing that connection between your foot and the ground, and moving around if you have to, moving your weight around your foot so that you feel you've found the most stable possible situation you can for your foot right now. Now we're going to come into Balasana, but what I want you to try and focus on today is not leaning right over. So we want to try and keep our weight central, even though we're only going to be standing on one leg, because that's going to make that leg work a little harder. Ready? So let's take the left leg up and bring your foot wherever you want to on your standing leg. So if you're down by the ankle, that's great. If you're on the calf, lovely. But if you want to come right up, so your ankle or your heel is in your at the top of your thigh, lovely as well. And then we're working on getting this knee out to the side. So as soon as I say that, I want you to feel like there's a little squeezing, kind of pinching motion going on in this right glute here. All right. And then we're going to think about lengthening through the sides of the body, lifting the chest, taking the shoulder blades together behind you so that you're opening up your heart center, raising the sternum, lifting a little, and the chin as well. Lastly, but not least, and then think about that standing leg. Have you squeezed all the muscles in your standing leg so that your foot feels like it's in contact with something completely solid? I'm talking too much, I'm gonna fall over. Managed to save it. Fantastic. And then arms. Let's take the arms out to the sides and up overhead. And whatever you feel like doing, whatever kind of tree you are today, do whatever you feel like doing with your arms. Keep your belly button pulled gently in. And don't forget to breathe. So send those roots down into the ground, anchoring yourself, rooting in, finding your calm, finding your stability. And lowering that vata energy. And then let's take the arms up and out and down. And then we're going to keep this leg up. We're still working that left leg, nice strong left leg that we have there. Bring your foot towards you so that you can grab hold of that big toe. So big toe in a yoga hold, just the first two fingers, or if that doesn't work for you, then just around the outside edge. And if that doesn't work, hold on to the calf, hold on anywhere that works. And then we're sending, try not to fall over again, sending that left leg forward, bringing the arm back, keeping up nice and tall, not pulling the shoulders forward, not letting the torso come forward. Lovely. That standing leg starting to get tired, so we're going to stop now. Let go, but keep that foot up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently lower. Well done. Let's go straight over to the other side. So same thing, we're giving that foot a little time, a little attention. Find that balance, find that solid space where you can send down those imaginary roots into the ground. And then when you're ready, sort yourself out. With me, that means having to sort these leggings out. Find that space. And don't forget to send the knee back. And again, same thing, lengthening. Sending the arms out and up. Standing legs strong. And then lifting, bringing the arms back out. Finding that foot. And then same thing. So whatever hold you did on the other side, same on this side. Sending that left leg out now, nice and strong. Think about not letting your hips get out of line. Are you ready? Join us, and then let's let go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that leg down. Take your feet away from each other, and let's slide from side to side. Why not? It's a lovely movement. As you go over to the left side, let your right toes come off. And then as we go over to the right, let the left toes go off and try and keep your torso upright, but gaze down towards those toes. And then you're coming over to the right, to the left again. This time, let your body bend over towards your right toes. And we're sliding, bringing your body over. It's like a dance move. Last round. If you can go a little deeper, we're stretching out the inner thigh. And then straighten your legs, folding forward. Prasarita Padottanasana, folding forward halfway, sending your sit bones back out behind you. See if you can really make it stretch and make that sensation very real in the backs of your thighs here, and then folding forward all the way. So our last inversion for today. Drop your arms. Then bring your hands just to the mat. You can use your hands on the mat to just support yourself. You might want to walk your feet a little further away from each other. And bring your head down towards the mat. If your head is almost at the mat or on the mat, still keep a little bit of distance between, just a couple of millimeters between the crown of your head and the mat. We want to really encourage blood flow to that area. Notice what your eyes feel like. And then gently coming back up, walking your feet towards each other. And we're coming into a squat. So bring yourself right down into a squat here. And it doesn't matter what kind of squat, whether you're up on toes or you're flat-footed. We're just going to hold here in a squat for a little moment. You can either have your head upright or you can bring your chin down to your chest. That compression in the groin is very good. So just changing the pressure in your legs and helping the lymphatic drainage system do its stuff. And we're going to do a little bit more work here. So bringing your head up, we're going to come into Utkatasana. We've done Uttanasana. We're going to come into Utkatasana, which is chair pose. So taking our arms up, inhaling up, and into chair. Dun, dun, dun. There we are. We're sitting on the invisible chair. Think about your lower back. Don't want to be shoving your bottom out behind you. You want to keep a little bit of straight action going on there in the lower back. Think about working your thighs. Think about the sensation of drawing your thighs towards each other so that they're more engaged, so that you're working them. And from here, stay in chair, come up onto toes if you can. Think about all that balance that you're having to do here. Well done. Find a spot on the floor to gaze at. Well done. Come back down to heels and all the way up. Whew. Don't know about you. That made me feel quite out of breath. Coming into Balasana, taking the feet out towards the sides, gently swaying your way down. There we go. Coming into a very wide leg squat, sending the arms forward, the body forward, and tucking your hands around. There we go, garland on Balasana. And again, lots of very good compression happening in the torso here, squeezing all the organs gently, helping your digestion, helping your immune system, helping the cleaning systems of your body. Well done. And from here, if you can, without rolling over and hurting yourself, bring yourself down to sitting. Take your legs off and bring your heels and the soles of your feet together. Drawing your heels in, Baddha Konasana. So, we just had that compression in the groin because we were squeezing our body in between our thighs. And now we're opening up. So we're doing the opposite action. It's as if we'd created a temporary roadblock or we've stopped a pipe. It's a better analogy or metaphor. And then we've just opened that pipe out so that whatever needs to go can rush out. Sending the knees down towards the mat, drawing the feet up, bringing the heels in, and let's make this dynamic. Let's pretend that we are butterflies here. We're just fluttering our wings. I'd like you to bring your attention back to your breath as we were practicing our breath right at the beginning of this session. Take yourself back to that beautiful, slow inhale and exhale. Lovely. And we're going to roll a little bit now. So rolling to the right, taking the elbow into the thigh and pressing down. So the left sit bone comes off the mat, and then we're going to roll over to the left. One more. Over to the right and over to the left. So coming into having a little space, we're going to come from here into Navasana. So bring your feet off the mat, find your balance spot, And lifting your feet so that your lower legs are parallel with the floor. Leaning back a little bit, trying to keep the back straight. So it's so tempting here to send the mid back out and curl around. But then all we're doing is just stretching out the back, which is great, but we're not using the muscles in the core, and that's what we want to be doing here. So straighten your back, send yourself away from your thighs, and then if you can, taking the hands off. Well done. And think about those muscles in your core just wrapping themselves around, nice big sheets of muscle, working gently to keep you in place here. And then we're keeping the left leg still and moving the right leg out. Down towards the ground, but not letting it touch. And then bringing it back. And swap. Left leg goes for a little walk, comes back. Way, and again, right leg comes down. And back. Last one. Left leg goes down. And back. Now bring your knees in, wrap your arms around, give yourself a hug. Take your forehead to your knees. And we're going to go from here into rolling down. So come down to lying on your mat, on your back, however works for you. Keep those knees hugged in, give them a lovely hug again. And maybe a rock from side to side if you feel like it. Massaging the kidneys at the back there, and the area around. And now taking your feet up towards the ceiling, tucking your toes down towards your face. One last stretch out of the backs of the legs. You keep your left leg where it is. And can you bring your right foot forward so that you look like you are walking? You put your right foot in front of your left foot. Now use your left foot to gently push forward. Keep both legs straight. And then release. And let's swap. So bring your legs back side by side. Heels pointing up to the ceiling, toes slightly down towards the face. And then we're going to bring that left foot forward and tuck it just in front. So the toes are just touching. Legs are straight. Belly is pushed down in towards the spine. And see if you've got any movement, whether you can bring them a little bit overhead. And release. Quite a tricky posture, that one, isn't it? Take your heels down, take your feet down, pressing your feet into the mat. So we've got that nice contact again, that rooting, grounding, slowing down. The antithesis of this energy that we're going through at the moment, externally around us. Fingertips towards your heels, or just touching, and coming into bridge. So we're in that bridge season between summer and winter. It's a time of change. And the more grounded and stable and settled we are in our own energy, the better we can roll with the changes that come from outside, whether that's coping with different weather, whether it's starting new things, whether it's changes around us. The more grounded we are, the easier it is for us to roll with those changes and embrace them. Now push in, push into those feet. Lift your hips up a little higher, squeeze your glutes, send your pelvis up towards the ceiling. Come on, make that movement really strong. Push. and release. Taking the back down, one vertebra at a time. No, we're not rushing. We're going really beautifully slowly here, all the way down, and then bringing the knees into the chest. One more hug, taking the arms out to either side. We're going to take the knees over to the right. And when they reach their destination, then we're going to move the head over to the left. So if you can notice all the points in your spine where you feel like you're having a really good stretch, and any points where you feel that there's a little resistance or discomfort, learning how to be incredibly observant and know yourself really, really well. And then bringing your head back to center, bringing your knees back into center, knees come over to the left, and gaze and head and eyes, everything else over to the right. Well done. How's your breath work going? Are you managing to slow the breath down? The last bits of our practice, bring your focus back to your breath. Bring your head back to center, bring your thighs back to center. One more hug, wrap your arms around, this time taking your forehead up towards your knees, squeezing. Squeeze that torso one more time. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. Ah, well done. Very good practice. Taking your legs out to the sides. Now we have the benefit. This is where everything that we've just churned up and made space for and moved around can settle, and the body can make use of the space that you've made and the movement that you've allowed to happen within your body. Not just physically, but energetically as well. Any blocks, any little niggles, we hold them in different parts of our bodies. So your yoga practice enables you to try and release some of that held anxiety or held concern or held emotions of some sort. Allow yourself to completely relax. Feel like you're melting into your mat. Feel that you're heavy. Your muscles are heavy. Your bones are heavy. You're completely relaxed. There's nowhere else to go right now. You are where you're meant to be. And overall, you are who you're meant to be. And that's the most important thing to remember. Everything you are doing, the way you are, is completely right. So remember to take deep breaths in, right down into your belly or even into your toes and your fingertips. And as you breathe out, sinking a little deeper into that state of gentle, conscious relaxation. Completely at rest. From your toes to your feet, to your ankles, your calves, knees, thighs, pelvis, belly, chest, spine, shoulders, hands, wrists, forearms, elbows, upper arms, your neck and throat, face, the scalp, the whole of your head and the whole of your torso and your arms and legs completely at rest. Feel that with every breath you're drawing up energy, absorbing it from the air, absorbing it from the ground. There's no part of you that isn't in contact with something. You're always surrounded by the ground, by the air. One more round. Deep, slow inhalations and even slower exhalations. Keeping your eyes closed, keeping that space that you've made. Keeping that slow, steady rhythm to your breath, gently coming to rest on your right side. And when you're ready, still keeping your eyes closed and keeping that space and calm and strength, come up to sitting however you wish to sit. Keeping the spine long, keeping the crown of the head lifted up, taking up as much space as you wish to take up. There is no one on this earth who has more right than you do to the space you wish to inhabit. We are all equal under the sun. Gently bringing your hands to heart center now, pressing the hands towards each other, waking the forearms up, reminding us of our strength, waking up the upper arms, feeling the muscles tensing across your chest, across your back, under your arms, even in your torso and neck, squeezing the palms towards each other, pressing in as hard as you possibly can, and then release. Just hold the hands there for a moment. Notice that warmth flowing around the body, and let's just rub the hands together. Get some more warmth into the palms of the hands. Faster, faster, faster. And then cup them over your arms. Arms, eyes. It's probably easier to cup them over your eyes. Blink into that lovely space, opening your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bringing your hands back. And namaste. Thank you very much for joining me, for joining you on the mat, for taking time for yourself. Nobody else is going to take that time for you. So well done that you made that time and you did that practice, which was great fun. Thank you very much. And yeah, have a lovely evening.